Hey everybody, my name is Dr. Scott Giacomucci. I'm the director and founder of the Phoenix Center for Experiential Trauma Therapy, which is in Media, Pennsylvania, near Philadelphia. And in this video, I want to talk about the difference between sadness and depression and why it's important to separate the two of these and understand the difference between the two of these. I'm sure you've heard someone say, I'm depressed, or I've been depressed this week, or I'm really depressed at the state of the world. When really, they were just having a hard time, or they were really just sad about the state of the world, or sad about something that happened. Sadness is really normal and healthy, actually, whereas depression is a mental health diagnosis. And so I want to separate normal, healthy sadness from more pervasive depression, which is a mental illness. Sadness is an emotion related to grief that actually all mammals, including animals and humans, experience when we lose someone or something close to us. It's a temporary emotional state, and it's usually tied to a specific event or a specific relationship or a specific loss or a specific experience. And sadness is usually relieved. We can find relief from sadness by receiving some support through distraction or simply over the course of time. Many times when we go to sleep and wake up, we're no longer feeling sad. Depression is something much different. Depression is something much more pervasive and long-term and lasting. Depression, the diagnosis of depression, involves various different criteria, which I'm going to run through quickly here. Having little interest or pleasure in doing things, feeling down and depressed or hopeless, trouble falling asleep or maybe sleeping too much, feeling tired, not having energy, difficulty eating or with appetite or overeating, feeling bad about yourself or that you're a failure or you've let people down, difficulty concentrating on things like reading or watching TV, moving or speaking really slowly to the point that other people notice something is off, or being so fidgety or restless that you've been moving around so much, or having thoughts that you'd be better off dead or of hurting yourself or killing yourself. These are 9 different criteria for major depressive disorder. Now, while sadness is an emotional state that ebbs and flows and comes and goes, depression is more of a lasting experience. And in order to qualify for a diagnosis of depression, these symptoms need to last for at least 2 full weeks consistently. And these symptoms need to interfere with our ability to function, our ability to maintain relationships, our ability to go to work or go to school or take care of ourselves or get up in the morning. So sadness is usually short-term. It's something that we experience in reaction to an event or a loss, and then we bounce back from it. Now, this is different than grieving. Sadness is often something we experience through the grieving process. Grieving usually takes a bit longer than sadness to find relief from, and depression even much longer. To complicate things further, there's also a difference between a depressive episode and a depression diagnosis, that we may be experiencing shorter-term episodes of depression that may last for weeks or days versus meeting criteria for full diagnosis of depression. And so it's important that we're really being thoughtful about how we're using the term depression, and that we're not overusing it or underusing it either, that we're accurately labeling what we or someone else is experiencing. So misusing the term depression, overusing it, can really contribute to the stigma or even invalidate the real suffering that people may be experiencing who are struggling with depression. If we're saying we feel depressed that the Eagles lost the football game or that the Lakers, lost the basketball game, then we may be really minimizing the suffering that other people are experiencing when they're really struggling with depression. So it's important that we're using our words thoughtfully. And this kind of stigma and minimization can really prevent people who are struggling with depression from getting the support that they really need. Using the term depression out of context can also create unnecessary worry or a sense of concern or helplessness for other people. towards you. If you're saying you've been feeling depressed the past couple of weeks, when really what you mean is that you've been feeling sad or you've been feeling tired, your parent might be worried about you, your therapist might get worried about you, your friends may be worried about you, and it's not necessary to create that kind of worry for someone when you could have simply been more precise with your words. There's also a sense of disempowerment or helplessness that we might contribute to within ourselves when we're overusing the word depressed or depression to label our experience. If we're struggling with sadness or grief or disappointment, that's situational, and we're labeling ourselves as depressed, we may be really disempowering ourselves or digging ourselves into a hole that might lead to lasting depression, or creating a self-fulfilling prophecy where we believe that we're depressed and we act as if we're depressed when initially we were just sad about something, and that sadness was temporary and going to pass. But now we've started to construct an identity and a sense of self that's on the basis of us being depressed. So there's different things to watch out for in how we're using the term depressed or depression. One of the biggest is the duration of the feelings and the symptoms. That the feelings, the depression needs to last for at least 2 weeks in order for it to qualify for a diagnosis of depression. And that the intensity and impact of those symptoms neither really prevent someone from engaging in their typical day-to-day work or school or learning or taking care of themselves or relationships. That depression is also often characterized by suicidal thoughts or emotional numbness and hopelessness, and that these are more serious and concerning symptoms associated with major depressive disorder. That if someone's walking around and they seem to be defeated constantly, to be down on a regular basis, more than just a couple days here or there, and more than just a week or two here or there, but really that there's a consistent pattern over weeks and weeks and months or years and years that's impacting their ability to function, that may be a stronger indicator that this person is struggling with depression. So if you're noticing that about someone that you care about or about yourself, there's different ways that you could support yourself or others. One way is to simply normalize sadness, to recognize that it's normal and natural and healthy, while also staying alert to the potential patterns of depression and the symptoms of depression. Another important thing to do is to really check in with each other, rather than just saying, "Good morning, how you doing? I'm good, how are you? Good," and continuing on. Really check in with one another. Now, how are you really doing? Or express your concern. "Hey, you seem like you've been down, maybe depressed the past few weeks, and I've been thinking about you. What's going on?" Encourage people to seek support. Encourage people to reach out to you if they're struggling. Send someone a quick text message or email, or give them a call and say, "Hey, when I saw you today, you seemed like you were down. Is there anything you wanted to talk about or anything I could support you with?" Encourage people to go to therapy. Encourage people to take care of themselves, to find support groups, to talk about feelings of depression or sadness. So I want to really encourage us to be thoughtful about our words, to not overuse the term depression, and to differentiate depression from sadness or from grieving. And let's not pathologize normal, healthy sadness or grief. There's nothing wrong with being sad or grieving when there's something to be sad about, or someone who died, or something that we've lost, or major change going on. These are perfectly normal and natural and healthy and expected emotional reactions to loss. But there's a clear difference between sadness and depression. So I encourage you to write in the comments, what are some of the other differences that you notice between sadness and between depression? What are the ways that you keep yourself aware about your own experiences of sadness versus depression? Or what are some of the other indicators that you look for in other people when you're trying to differentiate if somebody's sad or if they're really depressed? Write those in the comments. You might really help somebody else in their own life or with their own mental health recovery. And if you found this video useful, I encourage you to subscribe to our channel here to get notified about future videos posted about trauma and recovery and mental health.